There is a great Christmas story from Woman's Day magazine back in 1982. It was written by Nancy Gavin. It was entitled The Man Who Hated Christmas, and it was about her husband, Mike. Now, he didn't really hate Christmas. Mike just didn't enjoy all the trappings that had come with Christmas these days, all the commercialization, all the gift giving, and the me, me, me mentality. And so she always had difficulty finding the right gift for Mike to help him really enjoy and capture the true meaning of Christmas. One year, before Christmas, it was a few weeks, their son Kevin, who was 12, was wrestling on their junior high team. They had a non-league match with an inner-city church, and when they went over to wrestle, you could really see the contrast between the two teams. Kevin's team all had new uniforms, had bright wrestling shoes, and headgear. The other team didn't have near these kind of luxuries, and their shoes were so ragged, she said they were barely held together with shoestrings. And when the first match approached, she saw that they didn't even have headgear. Well, the match did not go well for the inner city team, and each match after that, they lost. You felt kind of bad for them as they got trounced so readily, and Mike said, "I wish they could have just won one match. It can really take the heart out of a team to lose like this, and they've got so much potential." And Mike loved kids. He was a coach himself from Little League football, baseball, and lacrosse. And that's when Nancy had an idea of what she was going to get Mike for Christmas this year. She went down to the sporting goods store and bought up wrestling gear and wrestling shoes and headgear and sent all of it anonymously to that inner city church. Then on Christmas Eve, she wrote down what she had done and placed it in a white envelope, placing it on the Christmas tree. The next morning, everybody had opened all their gifts, and the kids had opened all and were playing with toys, and she got down the envelope, and they all kind of looked to see what this would be. And they said when Mike opened this envelope and read about his gift, his smile was the biggest of that Christmas. Well, this continued each year. It got to be so the kids would ignore their newly opened toys, and they wanted to see their dad's reaction to his Christmas gift. One year, it was sending a group of developmentally disabled teenagers to a hockey game. Another year, it was sending a check to a couple of elderly brothers whose home had burned down the week before Christmas. And on it went. Then last year, she wrote that Mike died of cancer, and she was so wrapped up in grief that she barely put up a Christmas tree. But on Christmas Eve, she found herself giving Mike a gift, placing that in the white envelope and putting it on the Christmas tree. The next morning, she found that it was joined by 3 other envelopes, and unbeknownst to her, each of her children had also gotten their dad a gift. She said, this spirit of Christmas will continue in their family. As this continues with traditions that their grandchildren will take up someday, she says Mike's spirit, just like the spirit of Christmas, will continue as a tradition for them. As we think about the true meaning of Christmas for our lives, our Christmas Eve offering is going to be towards ministries like this that are on the ground changing people's lives day in and day out. They're part of our missional apportionments, an agreement that we have agreed to support with our annual conference. And so as you give this year, you might think about making this a tradition in your family through your church. May you have a Merry Christmas indeed.